Hey everybody, how's it going? It is a super windy but warm, sunny spring day here in Manitoba. I hope the wind isn't too much for you. I want to be outside. We've been cooped up inside all winter and spring has arrived, and I'm just happy to be outside and not freezing. Hopefully you guys have spring where you are. Anyways, today's video is a simple question that I've been asked quite a few times, but my buddy William asked me the other day, can you mount a large pattern Stihl bar, particularly the light Stihl bar, to a nice small Husqvarna 357 XP? Now you might ask yourself, why would you do that? We'll get into that in today's video. Let's see if we can mount a Stihl large pattern bar to a small mount Husqvarna. Now, before we get into this video, you might ask yourself, because I get this a lot, like, especially people in Europe, I get messages, why do you guys run such long bars there? Well, two reasons. Number one, the wood typically, I believe, is larger on this side of the pond. But number two, I run a long bar because I don't want to bend over. My back is such, you know, years of working construction. I'm a tall fella. I'm actually, and I'm quite long in the upper half. So, you know, when I'm bending over, it puts a lot of strain on my back, and it's uncomfortable. So to me, I want to run a long bar. Now, this never occurred to me until I met my good buddy Bucket Billy Ray, and he said to me, "Why do you run such short bars?" And I said, "Well, the wood's small here." And he went, "Oh yeah. You ever try a long bar?" Well, I'd never seen a bar this big on anything other than a large CC stumping saw back in the day. And by stumping saw, I mean if you're cutting a stump flush with the ground, you'd run a big saw and a long bar. I'd never seen anybody run a long bar on small wood. So, and then I tried it, friends, and let me tell you, this bar is lighter. This bar with a chain on it, and I've done a video on that, is as light as like a standard 20-inch bar. So why not run this? And that way I could stand up and buck. But anyways, my buddy William, I suspect he's getting to an age where he doesn't want to run a big power head, but he still wants to enjoy running a power saw. And he asked me, could a guy run a Stihl large pattern bar on a Husqvarna? And I'm not sure, friends. I've never actually done that. So I'm going to bring you guys in and let's see. Not only can I mount this, but will it oil it? And then let's put it in some wood and see if a 57cc saw can pull a 32-inch bar. Who knows? Okay, so first off, this is 57cc's. This is the legendary 357 XP. And I've run this saw a little bit. I haven't put it fully into my saw repertoire yet. I'm not sure why, because I could definitely run a saw this size in the wood we have here, but you guys know me. I'm addicted to horsepower, and it is what it is. Okay, so first things first, if you're new to this, if you put one of these on here, well, that clearly does not fit on there. So that's the first thing you got to figure out. Now, the second part of this deal is, well, the oiler, okay? Does the oiler hole line up? And if you kind of eyeball it, indeed it does. But the biggest problem with this is I have drilled an extra hole in this to get more adjustment. the main thing you got to do is you got to grind out your slot about 1/4 inch, and this is too low. So if a guy did want to run this on this saw, he would have to figure out a way to make the oiler, or the adjuster line up, okay? In this case, it's about half an adjuster. I'm gonna grab a file and just file this hole slightly higher and see if I can get this to actually fit on here. It's about 5 minutes later. All I did was take a file and file that slot higher, okay? That's all you gotta do, just make the slot a little bit higher. Now, the biggest thing is you need a spacer. You can make them out of a piece of pipe. This is just a flat piece of steel that's been bent around. And that makes a spacer, okay? And that'll take up the slop. Now let's see, does this fit now? Indeed it does. Okay, make sure it fits flush. Okay, so now I'll just take my chain and I'll put this together like I would with any other saw. Here's the funny thing, most of my bars are Stihl bars, but I'm a husky guy, or what people would refer to me to, right? I'm just a chainsaw guy. I just happen to run more huskies than anything because that's what I prefer. But I mean, I'm still just a fella who, you can only have so many bars, right? And chains. So to me, it's like I would rather buy a Stihl pattern bar, do a little mod on it, and then it fits my Stihls, my Dolmars, and my huskies, and no issues. Now, I just got to see how much slop I need here. So I'm going to have to move the oiler quite back to make this all work. So I'll do that. Now, this isn't always ideal. Sometimes you end up with a combo that's hard to get on and off, or, you know, but I mean, again, money doesn't grow on trees. It sure is hard to make, and it's super easy to spend. And if you can't afford to have a bar for each saw, well, get what I call the universal bar, and get a Stihl bar, and then make it fit to anything. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this real sloppy. Okay, get as much slacking as I can, moving this back, and then it should go right together. Now I totally have the wrong tool to do this with. Give me a second. Let's put our chain on. This saw is interesting. It does have an outboard clutch, which you don't see much of anymore. I'm kind of used to that though, because pretty much all my saws are from that era, the outboard clutch era. And as well as my 562. Now all I'm doing is just seeing if you gotta add a link or any of that kind of stuff. Because I don't know, I've never put a Stihl bar on a small mount Husqvarna. Now I do it on large mount saws all the time. Okay, now all I'm gonna do before I put the side cover on is tighten this up so that it's not super loose. And we put the side cover on. Well, I got it all mounted up. It runs smooth, no issues. So there you go. You can fit a Stihl ES Lite large mount bar to a 357 XP. Let's put this thing in the wood. Let's try it in some bigger hardwood and just see if it'll even pull it. I'm not saying you should do this. Just want to see if you can. Okay, and we might as well address the 100-pound gorilla in the room. Will a 57cc saw pull a 32-inch bar in hardwood? Well, let's just start with that because I know that's what you guys want to see. friends, it's all in the filing. That's elm, super hard elm. Same chain I run on my ported saws. And it's all in the filing. Yes, you can do that with a 57cc saw. Do I recommend it? No. This thing's gonna get hot and be unhappy with you, but it'll do it for a few cuts here and there. Of course it will. I'm talking more about this, friends. This is where I would use this saw. Stand up and buck, that's all I'm saying. Hey everybody, just finishing this video up. It's so windy now, it's kicked up even more. And thank you to everybody that stuck through the wind noise. I just wanted to be outside today. And I do live in probably the flattest place on earth, and it's windy here a lot. So anyhow, there you go. You can mount a large mount Stihl bar to a small mount husqvarna. Does it take some work? For sure. But you can do it. Now, I don't recommend running a 32-inch bar on that saw. That was more just for fun. It will do it, though. But that oiler is slightly lacking in the oil department for a bar that long. And again, small saws are not meant to do giant cuts. They'll get hot and you may cook the saw. But you can do it. So anyhow, William, I hope that answers your question. And for everybody else, have a great day and enjoy spring. It's finally here. Later.